Before we get into the positive news surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers, help us out. Our highest liked video in the month of November was 126. In December, I want to top that. So hit that like button, and you should like it for that win last night against the Memphis Grizzlies anyway. I am Nic Rohloff. This is the Lakers Report by Chat Sports. Welcome into today's video as we are going to talk about trade rumors on the back half, but on the first half, we're talking about the good news and positive takeaways surrounding this basketball team after that win against the Grizzlies, who have been really good this season. So this is a good win for Los Angeles. And one of the top takeaways from that game yesterday was how well Anthony Davis played. And it's always good to see Davis play this way. We know that he got off to an MVP caliber start to the season. He cooled off for a little bit, but then got back to it yesterday, going up against that front court in Memphis. 40 points, 16 boards, efficient shooting as well. He was the best player on the floor for both teams last night, and we've really seen Anthony Davis play this way for most of this season. There was a point where AD was averaging 32 a game. It has come down to 27, but I'm still not going to complain about the numbers that you see on screen because he is playing like a top 5 big in the NBA without a question, and he is becoming, I would say, the top player on the Los Angeles Lakers at this point. Listen, LeBron is continuing to go up there in age, and we'll talk about LeBron in just a second, but the Lakers will go as far as Anthony Davis takes them. That is the truth here. If he stays healthy and can play like what we saw last night against the Grizzlies, he's obviously not going to put up 40 points and 16 boards every night. But if he continues to average 27 and 12 while also playing that good defense inside and being a good rim protector, rejecting 2 shots a night, well, then we will have a different conversation about the ceiling of this basketball team after, you would assume, Rob Pelinka makes some moves on the margins to improve the roster around LeBron and Anthony Davis. And let's take that conversation to LeBron James because after a lot of speculation, a lot of concern about LeBron James, he did return to this Los Angeles Lakers team and lineup, and he played quite well last night. 18 points, 8 boards, 8 assists, shot 3 of 6 from 3, which is probably the most positive aspect of that game because we've documented how much he has struggled from beyond the arc over the past 2.5 weeks. But he finally got out of that little dry spell, and he had a good night last night from deep. And he talked about the game and how he's feeling. He said that he felt pretty good after his 9-day, 2-game absence. Clarified it is not his left foot injury that's been bothering him. It's not behind me and stuff like that. It's an everyday thing. So he's still banged up a little bit, but it's good to have this little break that the Lakers have. I know a lot of Lakers fans might have wanted to try to go back-to-back in the NBA Cup. Well, it might be the best thing for this team long-term that was not the case because a lot of teams have not many games over the last week and a half. Lakers have a 3-day break. They needed it, and they got it, and hopefully they're going to get healthier and healthier as they start to get into the real basketball season, which starts around this time. Everyone always says Christmas is when the NBA season really begins. Some people say it's after the trade deadline, but either way, we're starting to get meaningful NBA regular season basketball on the horizon. One of the last positive takeaways from last night's game is the fact that Max Christie just continues to look like a winning basketball player, an impactful basketball player, and someone who can really benefit and help this team outside of LeBron and AD, which has always been a massive question mark. And Austin Reaves has realized the impact of Christie as well. Austin said Max was phenomenal, playing defense, offense as well. But his defense on Ja tonight was really good. That's a team that's been rolling. For him to do what he did obviously gives us a very good opportunity to win that game. You want to see a kid like that succeed. He does the right things, puts a lot of work in. I think he was the first one in the gym this morning getting up shots. Tip your hat to a guy like that. You expect him to do it the next game as well. He just plays the game the right way. And Christie has always been someone that is athletic. He can play the wing. He can play the 2. He can play that dunker spot on the baseline as well. The question mark around him is really always been if he's able to space the floor. He's able to hit the outside shot. Well, over the last 4 games, he's shooting 6 of 11 from 3. Now, is that going to be sustained? Probably not. But if you're able to get average three-point shooting, 35 to 38% from Christie, well, that's where his game might take another step forward and really benefit this team, because now you get that defensive presence that Max Christie brings on the perimeter and on the wing, but also get that offensive spacing, the catch and shooting ability, because as I always say, and I know a lot of the hosts here say at Chat Sports, what is the number one thing you need to surround LeBron James with? Shooters. What is the number one thing you need to surround Anthony Davis with? Shooters. And the Lakers just haven't had that often this year outside of Dalton Connect. So if Christie's able to give you more three-point shooting, well, then now we're going to talk about a different conversation around this team. And JJ Redick's kind of given that same point that I am. He said that he's looking for a complementary player as that fifth starter next to AD, LeBron, Rui, and Reaves. Redick said that that player ideally is a good point of attack defender who doesn't need the ball and can make threes. He didn't name any specific players, but he basically named Max Christie potentially taking that next step, and kind of threw a little dagger at D'Angelo Russell as well, because we know for sure he has not been able to knock down shots, and we know for sure he has not been able to hit his or be a good point of attack defender as well. So maybe Max Christie is that fifth starter moving long term for the Los Angeles Lakers. But what should you say? Would you start Max Christie? Type S for start or type B for bench? Let me know your thoughts on this down below. Today's pinned comments. If you hate with YouTube ad break, scroll down, let it play, and answer the question. All right, before we get into some trade rumors, we are going to talk about PrizePicks, the sponsor on today's show and the #1 daily fantasy sports platform. It's the best one out there. And with the holiday seasons here, it's the best way to get in. Make your holidays bigger and brighter with PrizePicks. The best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money on PrizePicks. Join now, because this holiday season, PrizePicks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas. How about that? Think Steph Curry will get more than 5 3-pointers, Giannis more than 35 points. Cook up your hot takes with your friends and win real money this basketball season when you and your crew run your game on PrizePicks. My entries for this week, I'm taking the free pick from PrizePicks on Nikola Jokic, more than half a point. Like I said, Merry Picksmas, folks. But I also pair that up with more than on Bam Adebayo, 16 rebounds and assists. Over his last 7 games, he's averaging about 12.5 rebounds and 6 assists. So I feel very good about that one from Mr. Adebayo. 2-player entry here, but you can customize the way you play. And like I mentioned, depending on the selections you make, well, 1,000 times your money. So download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. One more time, download the app today. Use code CLNS when you sign up to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Don't even win to get that $50. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. All right, let's get into some trade rumors on the Lakers, because are they not going star hunting? Are they just going for depth? Well, the NBA insider, if you want to call him that, Jake Fisher, says that the Lakers are focused on filling out the team's rotation ahead of the deadline, which is February 6th, rather than going star hunting for a guy maybe that might be out there like a Brandon Ingram or a Jimmy Butler. Here's what Fisher said specifically. An expectation persists that the Lakers, while currently said to be prioritizing adding depth as opposed to pursuing star-level additions, remain likely to make at least one move. And we've documented this. We've talked about the front court targets for the Lakers and players that might work out behind AD as that center since Jackson Hayes is hurt. Christian Koloko hasn't really been that consistent, and I don't really want to rely on him anymore. And you see that number come through day after day, night after night. Like the Lakers rank 29th in bench scoring. And you are not going to be able to win in the NBA unless you can rely on some jolt of energy off the bench. And when you think about what may come as the starting lineup, and as Christie might become that starter that JJ Redick talked about a little bit earlier, your bench features D'Angelo Russell, who has been a train wreck. Rookie Dalton Connect, who I like, but are you relying on him to be your #1 scorer off the bench? Cam Reddish has given you nothing. Jared Vanderbilt still is hurt, and Gabe Vincent has been an unmitigated disaster since you signed him in free agency last offseason from the Miami Heat. This team needs a true backup point guard. It's been enough with D'Angelo Russell, and they need a backup center. So if the Lakers wanted to go out there, move off of D'Lo, improve that backup point guard spot, and find a center like a Jonas Valanciunas. We'll talk about some other targets too in just a second. Maybe that is where this team is best suited to go out and do. So let's talk about some point guards that are now trade eligible, because if you were signed in the offseason, you are not able to be traded until December 15th. Well, if you look at your calendar, we are past that date, folks. So these players are now able to be traded. And when you talk about these guys, Tyus Jones, to me, will not be traded. But the other three, you never know. The 76ers are a disaster. I actually really like potentially adding Kyle Lowry. Now, is that someone that's going to give you scoring off the bench consistently? Probably not. But he plays basketball the right way. And even though he is an older player, he can give you better defense off the bench, knock down some three-point shots. Lowry is someone that may intrigue me, but he also could be a buyout candidate if the 76ers continue to struggle and their season looks to be a mess as Joel Embiid continues to be out. Let's go over to some centers that are now eligible to be traded. And the one that really sticks out is Jonas Valanciunas. I'm kind of all set on Daniel Tice. Mo Bamba, I was very high on him coming out of the league. Really not interested that much in him anymore. And Luka Garza, I am out as well. So if you're talking about centers that are recently trade eligible, the only one that is really someone that I would target is Valanciunas, making $10 million a season. Maybe you can swing D'Angelo Russell for Valanciunas. Maybe you have to attach a pick to that due to D'Lo's contract. I don't know, but either way, Valanciunas is the one that intrigues me the most if you're looking at these four players. But if you are the Lakers GM, if you are Rob Pelinka, which one would you trade for and prioritize before the deadline? Would it be point guard? We'll type PG. If you think it's center depth, type your C's. All right, I will do it for today's show. Like we said off the top, help us out. Hit that thumbs up icon. The more engagement we get in terms of subscribers, likes, comments, the more videos we're able to do here at the channel. So let's break that record of November. Let's pass 126 likes. Hit that thumbs up icon on today's show.